Repping the Pizza Bowley shirt today.
Pizza Bowley.
Pizza Bowleys, baby.
Where's he?
I got my Orioles 1983 mug and my squirt today.
Squirt. Hell yeah. What flavor of soda is that? I'm only seen that as like a fake can.
It's it's like the southern version of Fresca, from what as it's being explained to me. So,
is it like Sprite or is it like what is it? I've never had a Fresca either. So
it's a grapefruit soda.
Oh,
yeah,
grapefruit.
I know you can't read it,
Okay.
but grapefruit soda.
Yeah, I can't read, so
that's why I'm different books.
What year? What year is Spencer? 2019.
In regards to getting drafted?
No, 2019 was his last year in college.
Mm-hmm. He went to Radford.
Yeah, I have the notes. I have a bunch of questions. I have his a bunch of stuff on him.
Yeah, he will come. I mean, obviously, just shitty circumstances at the moment.
I think it's 2016 is when he graduated from St. Paul's.
Okay, that's what I was.
Let me look.
Looking for.
His father, unfortunately, was unable to make it for his announcement when he was going to Radford. And I actually stood in for his dad, which was kind of a cool moment.
Wow.
Just, he asked me to do it because him and I are close, and I appreciated it and I respect him and I love him. And that was just really cool to watch him accept his letter of intent or say his letter of intent to Radford.
I thought only Spalding kids were allowed to go to Radford.
Didn't a couple of kids that you played with go to Radford, Brooks?
From Spalding, yeah.
I thought
five kids from Spalding that year went. It felt like.
Did they have a coach or something that went to Radford?
They must have had some sort of pipeline there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he graduated from St. Paul's in 2016. It says he was a two-time state champion hockey player too.
Yes, he played hockey. I remember him, and obviously we'll talk about this more when he comes on. And by the way, welcome to the Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture podcast, everybody. Now that we're recording and having a good time. I remember when he first came up, he wanted to be a catcher, and he was a really good catcher. And I remember just thinking to myself, this is a scrawny MFer who had no business being behind the plate because the ball looks like it might go through his body. And what he ended up doing is putting on ball. But the best attribute that Spencer Horowitz had was rotation. And what I mean by that is his hip rotation was so fast and he was so quick through the zone that you knew something serious could really happen with this kid. And while he was a little guy and slender at the beginning, he really just mashed for a guy who should not have mashed for that size.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Dusty or you look at me or you look at Brooks and we're bigger, broader guys, we should really put power behind the ball. Spencer had no business putting the power that he had behind the ball.
Yeah, I would kind of equate that to like when we were, well, I guess I should say when I was in high school, and Dustin can vouch for this because he watched pretty much all my games, but like Pat Blair was tiny and I could never figure out how he generated as much power as he did. I mean, I could see it like in his swing, and it looked like he just uncoiled on it, but it was just the torque that they gained.
Yeah.
And their swing was just like crazy. Like you said, looks like they had no business having that kind of power.
It's just like that golfer out on the range, and you look and they're a tiny. I'm not saying Spencer's tiny because he's not, but like you see that small fella out there that hits the ball 310 yards, and then you see the guy who's 6'3" who hits it 240. You're like, how is this possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Rory, right? Rory's everyone says he's yoked and everything like that, but that doesn't take away from him being 5'7", 5'8", and 175 pounds. Like same thing with JT.
Yeah. And you look at now, like when I watched the quarterback series on Netflix, when I watch the quarterback thing on Netflix, you see like Patrick Mahomes and them doing like those rotational, whatever that drill is, where they're like in this, whatever that apparatus is, where they're rotating constantly to try to gain that torque. And that's got to be what it is, the oblique strength.
I don't know. I did a lot of that band work in college too. Didn't pay off for me.
Right. Let's fire away. I think Dusty's going to take the lead on this bad boy because NFL free agency has gone to fucking it's ratcheted up real quick, and that's not normal. So
no, I'm actually gonna pull my Twitter up now so I can get live updates.
In the last couple of days, we're gonna have live updates coming. I'm sure there's gonna be a couple more crazy signings as we talk here. But first and foremost, I want us to talk about the Ravens. Big signing, Justin Madubuike, who was gonna be playing on the franchise tag this year, will now be he has a new contract, 4 years, $98 million. It saves the Ravens a ton of cap room this year and up front early in the contract, as it's going to be pushing money further down the road. But it opens up a lot more possibilities for us to go out and grab a running back or go out and kind of fill that Kevin Zeitler void if we need to. And we still have a couple contracts we can restructure too. But what do you guys think about this deal?
I don't know too much about the deal.
As it looks right now.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the deal other than this the first numbers that came out. But it seems like this is something that was prioritized way in advance, and that Madubuike was aware of it. There was never any kind of going in between. There was no shit talking, kind of like the Lamar situation, which was really odd. But this seems like it's a win-win for everybody, and they obviously are kicking the number down the road because they know the cap will continue to rise over and over and over year by year.
Yeah.
I got nothing to add. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it because I know Dustin was going to go. I know Dustin was going to go there after I said that. I'll just finish that one.
I think in comparison to the other D tackle deals that have been given out, I like it. I think he was one of the top D tackles on the market. The other guys, Christian Wilkins and Chris Jones, have both signed. Christian Wilkins got a 4-year deal to go to the Raiders, $110 million, ton of money, but he never comes off the field. He's one of those defensive linemen that is out there every snap, and they add that to Max Crosby, who's out there every snap. I think they're going to be they're starting to build up a pretty formidable D line there, and they're going to need it because they're playing Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert 4 times a year.
They're definitely building from the inside out now, which they weren't doing prior, with the Devontae Adams signing and the Jimmy Garoppolo bullshit. Now they're building inside out, and that's going to definitely benefit them. And they're going to be a scary team in time, but they play in a very tough division.
Yeah. There's so many signings. If we're going to stick with the Raiders, Josh Jacobs leaving them to go to the Packers, which was, I think, probably one of the biggest surprises today so far. Aaron Jones was still under contract with them. He just got cut like 30 minutes ago, right before we started recording this. You guys think this is an upgrade, Josh Jacobs over Aaron Jones? Do you think that's going to move the needle for the Packers? You think it's not that big of a move?
They're different. I love Aaron. I don't know if this is an age thing because I don't know what their ages are, or if they just think that Aaron Jones can't stay healthy or something, but I don't think it's an upgrade. Do I like it? Yeah. It's fine. It's not, like I said, I love Aaron Jones too. I would love the Ravens to take a swing at him now.
Yep.
But yeah, and maybe this is a cap saver too.
Yeah.
And that makes a ton of sense as well. And especially since they need to sign a few guys anyway. But yeah, it's not anything that's going to blow me away.
Yeah.
Without any intel, it almost feels like a personality change. I don't know what Aaron Jones's relationship was with the head coach, who I'm blanking on his name at the moment.
LaFleur.
Yeah, but it just seems like Josh Jacobs, for all intents and purposes, has seemed like an amazing stand-up human being, especially where he came from, living in a car with his parent or his mom. This just seems like a personality move to me because they seem like the same back.
I will update on Brooks's question. Josh Jacobs is 26, Aaron Jones is 29. So it is a significant move age-wise. I would imagine because the Packers still owe Aaron Jones money that he's going to be able to sign a minimum contract with somebody. And the Ravens are the perfect team for a guy like that. Brooks, you were about to say something before I cut you off.
Yeah, I mean, the only I think they're a similar style running back in the backfield, but I mean, I just think from what I've seen, and maybe the Raiders just didn't use Josh Jacobs this way, but Aaron Jones catches a ton of balls. He's very versatile out of the backfield, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, so I'll pose the question to the group. Do you want Derrick Henry or do you want Aaron Jones?
If it's the difference between paying Derrick Henry $10 million a year and paying Aaron Jones $2 million a year, give me Aaron Jones all day, 100%.
Yep, I agree.
Build the roster around the running back. There's obviously exceptions. We're going to talk about in a second Saquon going to the Eagles, if that makes sense for them. But I think for the Ravens, it makes sense, especially the way the roster is constructed. I would say keep it cheap at running back. And try to fill in the gaps elsewhere.
And to go to and not moving on to the Saquon thing yet. We'll talk about it. It just seems like all these teams that are making these running back trades or moves or cuts, they're just bringing in someone that is the exact same to what they had prior. So like you lose Miles Sanders and you bring in Saquon. Okay, that's the same person, really.
Yeah, they both went to Penn State. Pieces of shit. Fuck you, Merrick.
If I had my pick now that Saquon, I mean, my number one in my personal that I wanted was Saquon for the Ravens, but now that he's gone and without me knowing who else is really out there at the moment or even available for trade, I'm Aaron Jones as well.
I'm gonna pull up the NFL free agency board here, but Saquon Barkley to the Eagles, 3 years, $38 million, could go up to $45 million, I think, with incentives. So we're talking about $13 to $15 million a year for Saquon. For an Eagles team, I think that was pretty strapped for cash to begin with. I know they just did free up some space because Kelsey and Fletcher Cox retired. And those were two big contracts they got off their books. And two great players, both Philly. Going to get their numbers retired in Philly, I'd imagine. But Saquon, what do you guys think Saquon brings to the Eagles? Do you think it makes a huge difference in their offense?
I don't. I think they're the exact same they were before. Now, is Saquon younger? Yes. Is Saquon better? Yes. But in the way that schematically, no, it's the same fucking offense. It's the same thing. It's just going to dump the ball off in the flat to him, let him fucking go.
No.
I don't know. I like Saquon's upside. He's not going to do much there either because their offensive line is either retiring or very old at the moment. Didn't play well down the stretch last year, if I remember correctly. So it's not going to be too much of a change from where he was in New York. So, but I mean, Miles Sanders wasn't there last year. Who was their number one last year?
Swift. It's DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift. Yeah,
and Swift was a monster last year. So, but he's gone.
He just got paid too. Yep.
So,
actually,
I mean, he's just taking his place.
That's all he's doing. It's the same thing. Josh Jacobs is taking over Aaron Jones' spot, and they're the same person.
but it's fine. I mean, Swift had a great year last year, and now that he signed with Chicago, they needed somebody else. I don't know if this is a cap saver. Well, I guess not. They paid him more than what Swift got in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a couple more $1 million a year annually for Saquon, but he is a better player than Swift when he's on the field. The problem with Saquon has always been, can he stay on the field consistently?
Yeah.
And that's another big thing. I mean, we're talking about the NFL going to 18-game seasons. You got to get as durable as you can. Signing guys like this is a high risk, high reward move. I mean, he's a great player, but Yeah, as we're talking here, we got this this crazy contract just came up. It's an offensive guard, so it's not a super sexy deal. But Robert Hunt, former Dolphins offensive guard, just got 5 years, $100 million from the Panthers. $100 million guard.
A guard.
Yes.
That tells you that $30 million cap jump is making such a big difference in where the money can be spread. Because this doesn't happen last year.
Yeah. It also tells me that the Panthers are going to do everything they can to keep Bryce Young on his feet this coming year.
Well, they need as they should. He's built like a fucking pretzel stick. So they need to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Robert Hunt. I assume he's really good, obviously, if he's getting paid this much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously that was a glaring need for them and for a lot of teams. But good for them. I mean, it looks like they're new. I've liked their GM since they brought him in. I love his attitude, honestly. So he just went out and he's seems like he just took the bull by the horns. It's like, hey, here's our most glaring issue. Let's go get it. So awesome for them.
To go back to the running back comment real quick. I know if listeners want to shit on me for the comments I'm making, it's fine. Because I mean, really, we lost Gus Edwards. We're going to lose Gus Edwards most likely.
Yeah.
And we're going to replace him with the same thing in a Derrick Henry or a battering ram in Aaron Jones. These two guys. But we lost Gus Edwards. We just didn't swap them out. The Eagles could have re-signed DeAndre Swift in 5 seconds. They really wanted to. And it seemed like DeAndre Swift really enjoyed being there. Listening to him talk about it, I mean, just hearing press conferences, it seemed like he wanted to stay there. And they just said, fuck you. And we're going to go pay more money to go get Saquon Barkley. But it is an age gap, and I get that. But the Ravens are going to do the same shit. They're going to do the same thing.
Yeah. They've been consistent. They're going after, guys who are young, or maybe a little bit older, more experienced, but you're able to get them on a better deal. And we've still got Keaton Mitchell coming off the ACL, and he looked great last year towards the end of the year. Justice Hill is who he is. He's a fine number 3. But whoever was signed will split time with Keaton Mitchell, and I'm confident that we'll probably draft somebody else too.
Or you're going to find some guy in the fucking 6th round.
Yeah, 4th, 5th, 6th round. And there's always a ton of running back talent down the board. I mean, most of the best running backs in the league were late round picks. I'm thinking right now, Alvin Kamara jumps out to mind. He's the 3rd or 4th rounder out of Tennessee to the Saints, and he was one of the best running backs in the league for the last 5-6 years.
Isaiah Pacheco.
There you go. Runs like a freaking maniac.
And I mean, Gus Edwards hasn't signed anywhere yet. Obviously, I think he's going to get money from somebody, just the way he's played. So that's going to take us out of the running for him anyway, I believe. Unless nobody's offering him. I mean, there still might be a chance we get him back if the market isn't holding up for him. But
he seems like a LA Charger. He is made to go to the Chargers and then get hurt immediately.
Yeah.
And I don't want him whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel bad going to the Chargers if he has to do that. Austin Eckler, actually, by the way, still free agent. So that's another running back domino that needs to fall. He's a little bit past his prime, it seems like, last year. At times.
How did we miss this?
What?
This happened 3 hours ago? Patrick Queen's gone?
No. That was a fake. Don't read that. Okay. Don't read that.
Oh,
we're good.
Yeah, Penix. Yep.
I looked at that same tweet 2 hours ago, and I almost sent it. Yeah, don't worry, it got me too.
I gotta this is the season for it too. I gotta be better about looking at
looking for those trolls.
All right, we got to go quarterbacks. I got to get to it. We
got to talk about. Do you guys want to talk about Kirk first or Baker?
Kirk Cousins is the best businessman in this business. You got to be fucking fisting me. He's got this much guaranteed money in all these contracts. What?
So I actually have a breakdown of his career earnings. So he signs in 2012. He has the rookie deal he's a fourth rounder. 2016 he gets 20 million guaranteed. 2017 24 million guaranteed. Those are both on the franchise tag. 2018 he gets an $84 million contract. 2020 he gets a $66 million fully guaranteed extension. 2022 he gets a $35 million season fully guaranteed. And then in 2024 he signs a $180 million contract, $100 million guaranteed. Career earnings $411 million through 2027, $329 million fully guaranteed, and he's won one playoff game in the last 12 years.
The man should run a Fortune 500 business, and he is a Fortune 500 business in his own right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a crazy amount of money, but this is what quarterbacks are going for. I think Derek Carr signed like 4 years, 160 last year. So this is just a little bit above what Derek Carr got. And I think Derek Carr stinks. Kirk Cousins was legitimately good last year before he got hurt. The last couple of years before that, he's Kirk Cousins. But I mean, he's just, he's an average to above average quarterback, depending on the week. And I think this makes Atlanta the clear favorite to win that division. I think it does. I think that they have a lot of weapons on offense. They had absolutely no play out of the quarterback last year. And I think some just bringing in stability, I think will make them automatically a contender to win this division. I think the odds on favorite. What do you guys think?
Do you like the move? He's a pocket passer. There was a lot of talk about Justin Fields going there and having some mobility. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins can't run, but he's not a runner. Justin Fields, I think, made more sense, but Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback. I feel like the offense. And also, I don't know who their offense coordinator is, so I'm probably talking out of my ass on this one. But I thought like the Justin Fields move or a Russell Wilson move there would have made more sense.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I like Kurt. Yeah. I mean, I do. He's no matter what, he's never going to be crazy. He's never going to be top 3 quarterback in the league, but he's always going to be a top 10 probably. I mean, he's just solid. I mean, granted, he's had Justin Jefferson to throw to the last few years, so that makes life nice. But good for him. It's tough to pay him that kind of money with like where he's at in his career, but I mean, he's done nothing but put up numbers in Minnesota since he's been there. So
he's a compiler.
I get the playoff wins argument, and he kind of finally slayed that beast a couple years ago, but I mean, I don't know. I like it for them. I think it's a good move. He's the safe pick.
Slayed that beast. He's won one fucking playoff game.
But that was the whole thing for a while. It was like, oh, he can't win a playoff game. And then he finally won one, but I don't think they've been back since. But I don't know. It's also, but I mean, you go back and look, and now this kind of reminds me, I was listening to somebody like a month or so ago, and because I always had this perception too, like, oh, he can't win fucking playoff games, right? He won the one, got the monkey off his back, if you will. But they like rolled out the stats for all of those playoff games, and they didn't lose because of him. I mean, he fucking tore it up.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Mike Zimmer probably has a lot to do with that. And their defense hasn't been great for a really long time in Minnesota. But yeah, I like it. Atlanta had a lot of cap room.
I just want to say thank you to Juana for cleaning the house. Thank you,
Juana.
Thank you.
See you.
See you. Yeah, and also, I mean, we don't know what the Bears are asking for Justin Fields. Maybe they're looking for a first-round pick, and Atlanta's just like, fuck that. We're not giving it up. And Atlanta's got all these weapons on offense they've drafted in the last few years. I don't blame them for going out and getting a veteran, and now they're trying to open up a window for them to win. So I don't blame them for that, as opposed to getting Justin Fields in there, and if he doesn't work out, then you got to draft somebody else, and now you're wasting all this talent that you drafted in the last couple of years. So
who do they hire as their head coach?
Raheem Morris.
Okay.
Yeah. So defensive guy.
I think this move makes a lot more sense I sound like I'm shitting on the move. I'm not. I think this move makes a lot more sense if you have some rookie ass head coach. Like if a Mike McDonald went to Atlanta, who needs a veteran leader to basically corral the locker room, I think that makes a lot more sense. Raheem Morris has been a head coach before, even though he was young, and he has the control of locker rooms because of his stature with where he's been. And I don't know. I don't like the move. I don't like it, but watch, they're going to end up fucking, winning 13 games, and I'm going to look like a fucking schmuck.
Well, no, I understand. No, I get where you're coming from because I mean, like, the upside is probably higher with Justin Fields, right?
Especially long term.
Yeah. So I understand where you're coming from. Like maybe roll the dice a little bit here and see if you hit. You're kind of, if you take the safe bet here, then maybe you just kind of, I think what you're trying to say is you just don't see them ever winning a Super Bowl with
no.
So, and who knows with Fields right now, because we don't know what Fields is yet.
I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be drafting 21st or 22nd for the next 4 years. That's where I think.
They're going to be stuck. They're going to be stuck in that. They're going to be stuck in that Steelers purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about Baker. Same division. 3 years, 100 mil. It's 30 years, 30 million the first year. I think 20 million guaranteed the second year, and then after that, I think the Bucks have an out before the third year kicks in with the huge money. But yeah, I mean, good for Baker, $100 million. I think he earned it 100%. And I don't think Tampa is the best team. I mean, I think they're the only team that can compete with Atlanta for that division now. Based on their roster, I think the Saints are kind of going to regress. They're going to be cutting a lot of players because of their salary cap problems too. And I don't think Carolina's there yet, especially with their quarterback being a question mark at best. What do you guys think about this Baker contract?
Love the Baker contract. I think it's fucking fantastic. It's very team friendly. He did not try to go top of the market, which I really I appreciate because he's not a top of the market quarterback. Yeah. He's allowing the team to continue to sign other players. Yeah. They play in a division that is very easily winnable.
100%. Yeah.
Carolina is a pile of mashed potatoes. They're fucking terrible. I
further notice.
I love the contract for the team. I love it.
Until further notice of the Carolina potatoes. But no, I love it too, Brian. And this is awesome too for Baker and the Bucks. I think he just enjoys in football again, it seems like. And I think that's why he's like, you know what, like all the bullshit he went through in Carolina, in LA, moving around and stuff, and obviously starting off in Cleveland. I think he's finally happy again. And we said it last podcast, I think, like as soon as that pillar fell with Mike Evans, we basically knew that this was going to happen. He was fighting for Mike Evans to stay there and wanted it. And like, I was like, hey, I'm not coming back if Mike Evans doesn't get re-signed. And it seems like you said, Brian, like team friendly deal, willing to work and get some guys around him. Cause he probably has realized like, I need guys around me and to win and to play in the playoffs. And also, like Brian said, this is a very winnable division where he can potentially play in the playoffs the next 3 years. So,
and he plays the ultimate underdog role. I think he thrives.
He relishes that.
Even going back to his Oklahoma days, he just loves being the dog. And when he has that underdog role and that chip on his, the proverbial chip on his shoulder, he thrives. And I think this is a perfect situation for him.
Yep.
Yeah. I love
totally
it.
Agree.
And I love that about Baker too.
Yeah, Russell Wilson to the Steelers. Better minimum deal, 1.2 million, but he's getting his 38 or whatever million from Denver. I think it's a slight upgrade for Pittsburgh, but it's a low risk move for them. Really, if he sucks, they can cut him. There's no risk. And I think I would imagine Russell Wilson would have waited for that Kirk Cousins domino to fall. Had he not had some sort of talk with Pittsburgh beforehand that he's going to be given the opportunity to start games in Pittsburgh. Yeah. I've got a couple things here down. Steelers country. Let's weld. Steel got it. Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. I've seen a couple things on Twitter. Yeah.
God, man.
Yeah.
Is he is
but,
like he is a movie quarterback. Like he just does not seem like a real like.
No.
Oh my God, he's so corny.
He is.
Corny.
Why am I blanking? It's my favorite money. Who is the guy Falco replaces in The Replacements? That's who he is.
Martell.
Yeah, Martell.
Eddie Martell, man.
Russell
Eddie
Wilson,
Martell.
Yeah. Who do you want? Kenny Pickett or somebody who puts fans in the stands?
You're killing me, dude.
Well, why you said something interesting. Why would he have waited for Kirk Cousins? Because it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is any money that he takes extra, it gets counted back to the Broncos salary cap.
Yeah, I'm just saying in terms of what if the Steelers wanted to go after Kirk Cousins as well. I think he was just basically waiting for that last that free agent quarterback who's definitely going to be definitely would start over him, the only other one basically.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I said
playing
that.
Time, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I think he's got to have some sort of relationship with Tomlin or the guys in Pittsburgh.
Why did the first thing I thought of when he signed was I thought of Moneyball. And it was when Brad Pitt's talking to David Justice in the batting cage, and he goes, "This is what the Yankees think of you. They're paying you $3.5 million to play against them."
Yep.
He's going to play against the fucking Broncos, I believe, in Denver. That game needs to be national.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great call.
Yeah, you say that now, and then when it gets to week 9, and that's a Thursday night football game, and the over-under is 32 because nobody can play. Yeah, I mean, we don't know who's going to play quarterback in Denver for sure, do we?
No.
I mean, I don't think we have any clue. I don't think it's going to be Jared Stidham's job to lose. I think they're going to obviously bring in somebody there.
Another movie theater quarterback, fucking JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy. So do you guys think Denver will go the quarterback route in the draft?
Yes, I do. I think Sean Payton probably already has eyes on a guy who he thinks he can mold into a Drew Brees. That's my personal opinion. It just makes too much sense with the pick at 12. And I think they have a couple additional compensatory picks they got from other guys who got let go, like I think Bradley Chubb, stuff like that. Yeah. They can use those picks to move up. You might not be able to trade compensatory picks, but either way, I think they're going to move up in the draft to get a quarterback.
Yeah, I think they could trade up into the top 10 easily.
Yeah, they got picks from the Judy trade too to Cleveland.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't hate the Russell Wilson signing because I think with what's his name, Arthur Smith going back there, they're going to go back to more of a Seattle Seahawks style offense in terms of we're going to run the ball first, and so yeah, this could end up working out for him, and that's probably why he wanted to go there because that's I would assume the plan. But yeah, I mean, there's like I said, they're kind of stuck in this middle of the road drafting status, and their salary cap issues and stuff like that. So they've been stuck in this for what, 6 years now. So
yeah.
Can you imagine being a fan of the Broncos and just having to deal? I have $85 million in dead cap for the next 2 years. I don't give a fuck how you spread it out. 5 years, $5 million this year, and $80 million next year. Who cares? Whatever.
Yeah,
you're fucked.
Yeah,
you're going to be pinching pennies for 2 years.
Yeah, it's for sure, and that is another reason that leads me to believe that they're going to have to take a quarterback in the draft because they're not going to be able to afford any kind of free agent quarterback that's going to make a difference for them.
Why does Gardner Minshew seem like a shoo-in to go to Denver to me?
I don't know. I think he makes sense on a lot of teams. I really do think he could start games and be like pretty decent. I don't think he's I think he's at worst below, like an average quarterback or just slightly below average quarterback. I don't really know why he doesn't get as many opportunities.
I don't know either. I mean, you could probably get him for 2 years, $25 million, and he looks like he drinks Coors Lights on a regular basis. Why not go to Denver? Just go have fun.
Yeah, I mean, him or the other one I was thinking of, was Mac Jones before that trade. I thought that shit. Why am I blanking on the coach's name right all of a sudden?
Bill Belichick,
Peyton.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton would look at him and be like, "Oh, this is Drew Brees Jr. right here."
Yeah.
But
what a bizarre trade that was.
Yeah,
you want to talk about a guy getting butt fucked with no lube? Mac Jones got butt fucked with no lube. He had a special teams and a defensive coordinator be his offensive coordinators. That makes a ton of fucking sense to me.
Yep.
You kidding me?
I mean, he could have went to Denver, and maybe this is a genius chess play by the Jags. They're going to pull him in on the trade and then trade Denver for somebody, or I don't know. Because obviously they don't need him. I don't really understand this trade other than that.
I mean, it's just a good backup to have, I guess. And
yeah,
it's
but
not
I mean,
that much money. I'm sure they're going to split the salary with the Pats.
Yeah, and like I said, like if I just thought Denver made the most sense with Sean Payton, and but they also don't really have Jerry Judy's gone. They don't really have a ton there to be excited about for him to put pieces around him. So I don't know. He hasn't gotten a good shake in the NFL so far.
I think it makes a statement from the Patriots side of things that a lot of people have been thinking, what are they going to do at 3? Are they going to because the 2 quarterbacks are going to go, May and Williams, or Daniels will be going 1 and 2. A lot of people thought maybe they'll just take Marvin Harrison and keep Mac Jones and let him work, whatever. I think it says for sure they're going quarterback in this draft. I mean, unless they're playing as Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, because they're not letting Bailey Zappi zip it around, you know.
Absolutely not. No. Yeah, Bailey Zappi and Brian Hoyer or whoever they have. A couple of receivers. A couple of receivers got deals today too, and a couple things. Michael Pittman, 3 years, $70 million with the Colts. I think it makes sense based on his age and his production. I think it's basically exactly what you would think market value would be for him.
And he fits Indianapolis. He fits Indianapolis totally.
Yep. I think that'll help out Anthony Richardson in his development 100% too. Gabe Davis, formerly of Buffalo Bills fame, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, $39 million, worth up to $50 million in incentives. I think it's an all right deal. I don't know. I feel like Gabe Davis kind of shows up and has huge games every now and then disappears for 6 weeks. Do you guys have a different feel for him? You think he can be more consistent with the Jaguars, or I don't know if I'm missing something?
I don't. I think he's an eclipse. He's there. He's gone. He's there. He's gone. And that obviously, I think that spells the end of Calvin Ridley in Jacksonville. Now, I believe if Jacksonville deals Calvin Ridley, or if he leaves, the Jaguars owe a pick to the Falcons. I believe that's part of the deal.
If they re-signed him, they did.
Okay, they re-signed him. Okay. So then Calvin Ridley is gone, and I would love to see him 100%. In black.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate that either. Mm-hmm. It would probably be not. I don't think it would be a ton of money. He's on the other side of 30 at this point, so because he came in as a pretty young, a pretty old rookie from what I remember. But yeah, he would fit our offense for sure. If we're not going to draft somebody, then I wouldn't hate giving money to him.
That one makes too much sense.
Yeah. T. Higgins requested trade after being tagged. No long-term contract talks with the Bengals since March of 2023, according to Adam Schefter. It's crazy. In the last year, they haven't even talked to him about a long-term contract.
They can't do anything, and they can't because of Joe Burrow's contract. They're fucked.
Yeah.
And Chase is getting the next one. I mean,
yeah. Their best case scenario is he has a great year, and either they trade him halfway through it, or they're kind of going all out for the Super Bowl this year with him, and then they'll just let him walk and take the comp pick that they're going to get for him, because that's the best they can do. I don't think they can trade him if they're trying to win. You can't trade a player that good. No. But also, I mean, what are you going to do? I don't really know.
It's got New England Patriot written all over them. They have $110 million under the cap.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye-bye. You're going to New England most likely. And you're going to...
I don't know. When's the last time they spent on a big time receiver? It's been a while. I can't think. I mean, they brought in Moss, but they traded like a 5th rounder for him. He was on the Raiders, kind of
They
like
traded
rotting.
a fourth rounder for him on draft day.
Yeah.
They spent a ton of money on their tight ends a couple years ago.
Who's got a bunch of money? And not that we have this information readily available. Who's got money under the cap right now? I mean, like big gobs of money. And New England's the first one that comes to mind. And they don't have a fucking receiver. So that's where my mind goes first.
Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of people were thinking maybe they'll just take Marvin Harrison and let Mac Jones go. And now, Mac Jones is gone. So the top 5 teams in cap space for this year are the Washington Comedians, the New England Patriots, the Tennessee Titans, the Chicago Bears, and the Houston Texans.
Texans makes sense.
The Texans I think are going to be spending quite a bit this offseason and next offseason. Stroud is incredible, and actually they just lost one of their best pass rushers in Jonathan Gennard. He signed a 4-year, $76 million deal with the Vikings.
That guy's
so they're going to need help. Yeah,
he's a stud.
Yeah, so they're going to need help, and I mean it also kind of probably means that the Vikings aren't going to be re-signing Danielle Hunter, who's the best edge rusher available in free agency at this point. So you can look for him to get a big deal elsewhere as well. Yeah, I think for the most part we covered the big news. I know there's still more stuff coming in as we speak. Tony Pollard's going to the Titans. He went to college in Memphis. He's from Memphis. Makes a lot of sense to me. I think that means Derrick Henry is definitely moving on. I think the Saquon number kind of prices the Ravens out of Derrick Henry, though. I think Derrick Henry's going to be looking for somewhere in between where the Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift contract landed and where the Saquon deal landed. I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to shell out that kind of money, and I don't think we should either. But yeah, it's I mean, we still have a couple guys. David Bakhtiari got cut today. We didn't talk about that. 5-time All-Pro
is something I wanted to bring up, and I know I haven't had a chance to go through the rundown. This makes so much fucking sense for the Ravens. So much. But let's call a spade. He's going to the Jets. He's going to go be with fucking his boy Aaron Rodgers. They're going to go.
You think so? They need a tackle.
They need a tackle. And so he's going to go there because Aaron Rodgers is probably already in his living room telling him to come to play. But this would make so much sense for the Ravens. This guy's a stud. He just can't stay healthy. But right now we have Ronnie Stanley who can't stay healthy.
Yeah. I think it all depends on what kind of money he's looking for. So he had a $40 million cap hit coming this year, and they have to eat 20 million of it, but they saved 20 million of it in cutting him. So I imagine he's still getting that full 40 million. And it's going to be a similar situation of what Russell Wilson's looking at.
We all need to get jobs where when we leave our job, we still get paid a ridiculous sum of money. Damn it.
It would be nice. I don't know how we're gonna parlay that in the restaurant industry. We'll see. I don't know if it makes sense, bro. Let's do a quick.
I think the other one. I don't know if we brought this up yet. The other one is Fletcher Cox retiring. Awesome career for him.
Yep.
Sucks that he had to do it in the wake of Kelsey because it flew under the radar a little bit, but I don't think he really cares.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I wanted to bring up with freaking Buffalo cleaning house. I wish I need to figure out who. I want to pull up the tweet that we had, but they have gotten rid of a lot of people and a lot of big name people to save cap space.
Throw the deep ball on Buffalo next year because they're going to have no secondary.
Yeah.
I know for sure Mitch Morse, their center, is gone. I know for sure Tre'Davious White, who's the best corner of the last few years, he's been hurt, but he's gone. I think they dropped either Poyer or Hyde. Was it Poyer?
Poyer.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. There might have been Milano. Was it Milano? Somebody else. But they're cleaning house for sure, and they just lost Gabe Davis to Jacksonville.
If Matt Milano's on the market, get him now. Just get him now. The guy is so fucking awesome. and apparently a team player. I also like the guy from the Dolphins, who I think just signed earlier today.
Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel.
Signed with the Vikings. Signed with the Vikings. 2 years, 20-some mil. Yeah. He's good, man. He was a great linebacker the last couple of years. He's always, if you watch Dolphins games, he's always popping off the TV, and he does special team stuff too. I actually like that guy a lot. I think that's a good contract for him. If you guys want to, have anything else you want to bring up football wise, or can we move into baseball? Do that a little bit real quick.
No. Yeah. Well, let's do our quick 5 good Maryland basketball seconds. They still fucking stink. And that's
they dropped their last game of the regular season to Penn State. Conference tourney this week.
Got smoked.
They're going to get smoked. It sucks. It's not fun to watch. That's all we have today. That's
all we got. That's all we got. I mean, they shouldn't even bring a ball on the court. They should just forfeit right away. While on the basketball topic, before we go to baseball, did you see this fucking little scuffle, kerfluffle, whatever, that happened in the LSU South Carolina game?
I did see it. Yeah, I saw the video of it yesterday. I knew there was somebody was gonna get chippy in one of these games. I mean, it's been too much. What did you think of it?
I want to know who this fucking jackwagon is who jumped out of the fucking stands and went onto the field or onto the court. And congratulations to the security staff. That security guard jumped over the scorer's table like instantaneously and just left tackled this dude.
Yeah. It was crazy. Another thing in women's basketball, Caitlin Clark was like 0 for 9 in the first half of the Big Ten championship game, and then put up 30 points in the second half to send them to overtime. And they won in overtime. So, I think she was like 6 for 9 in the second half from 3. And just went crazy. She's awesome. A little bit of breaking news. Big time best safety in free agency. Xavier McKinney signing a 4-year, $68 million deal with the Green Bay Packers. He's going to be moving on from the Giants. So they're still adding to that defense that's just full of talent. First round picks everywhere.
What does that mean for Darnell Savage?
Darnell Savage signed with the Jags today.
There you go. All right.
D'Amico Autry to the Texans, 2 years, $10 million.
That's a good signing for them. He's a good player for value. Baseball.
Cardinals are signing Sean Murphy Bunting Jr. to a 3-year deal, $17 million.
That sounds like
Cardinals have a ton of cap space.
That's a porn name. That's a porn name. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
That's important. If you guys want to move on to baseball, little Garrett Cole news this morning. He's getting an MRI on his elbow. Don't like to see that as a baseball fan. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Obviously, as Orioles fans, we don't like the Yankees, but we're not rooting for any of their players to get hurt. We'd like to beat them the best way we can at their best and at our best. But you'd have to think if this is serious that either Montgomery or Snell are going to be in pinstripes by the end of the week.
Or Bauer.
Or Bauer.
Yeah. Or Bauer. Bauer makes way more sense because he will probably come on the cheap, given that his history is such shit.
He already said that he'd play for league minimum. I mean, I just don't get the blacklist.
I'm not a fan of the guy. I'm not a fan of the guy. I never liked him before everything happened with the scandal that he was totally acquitted of all that. I never liked him in the first place. But it's kind of ridiculous that he's not on any team, or at least getting looks, I think.
This is an optics thing. This is like when we crowdsourced bringing in Colin Kaepernick for the Ravens, going different sports, I understand, but kind of same circumstance in regards to just what's the optics. And I think that the reason he's not signed is because of that.
Yeah, but that's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
I just don't agree with, especially when Deshaun Watson just got all this guaranteed money for similar shit. Really?
Yeah, but how's that working out for Cleveland so far?
I don't care. Like it's bullshit that he's getting blacklisted by the MLB because he's still gonna, if he comes in and goes and pitches for somebody, he's gonna be a top pitcher for somebody, and he's beat. he's not being he's not being not signed because of talent. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm almost at the point now where I'd love the Orioles to sign him. I mean,
I'm out.
Give me a yeah, he's a nerd, but I mean, this guy comes in now, he's got every reason to be the best teammate he can possibly be. He's playing for meet league minimum. He's trying to get a big contract after this year. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's begging for teams to he wants to go play. He's hitting 100 miles an hour right now. I mean, Christ. What more can the guy do?
I totally understand why you think that way and why people would want him on their team. I personally wouldn't. But whatever. I mean, I totally understand both sides of the argument there.
I'm going to go to the camaraderie factor that we talked about a couple of pods ago. It just seems like that this team is such a close unit that, you bring me in an outsider might actually fuck something up. And I hope that's not the case, but it seems like they're so congealed and they're just so nice and they're cohesive. I like the way the team is. And I think Trevor Bauer, and I think he's going to make an impact. Does it fuck up our team by bringing in a great player like that? I don't know.
Yeah. And for the front office, it's going to be, is it worth the risk? Which to me, the answer is no. To you guys, it may be different. But anyway, the Orioles, the guys are the prospects, especially the kids, are looking crazy this week. Holiday had another good game. I know I saw earlier he had an infield single and then stole third base later that inning. He had a grand slam a couple days ago, had a 3-hit game last week. Kobe Mayo's heating up. He had a couple extra base hits in a game last week, and Colton Cowser is continuing to just absolutely fucking mash the ball.
They got to make the roster, right? They got to make the roster.
Yeah. I think
Mayo and Cowser, they got to make the roster.
I hope so. I just don't know, man. There's just no room for all these guys. Like, if Colton Wong is going to make the roster over Kobe Mayo, that's going to piss a lot of people off, or over Holiday, or over Westberg, or any of these guys. I don't know what you do. I mean, it's a good problem to have, like we've been talking about, but it's just so many guys.
I'm so happy to have these problems.
I know, it's amazing. How awesome is it to have two sports franchises in Baltimore that just we can trust? We know we can trust the front office. It feel good and let them figure it out. We don't have to worry about it.
I think that kind of goes to what Brooks's statement earlier about Trevor Bauer is. This is new ownership. Do you think new ownership wants to bring in a guy who, for lack of a better term, was a pariah for other teams? And is that the first impression they want to make, going into their first season as owners? And I don't think that is. And I think that's why we don't see Trevor Bauer.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
But somebody needs to sign him, and it's ridiculous that he's not. I mean, the guy has been proven innocent, that it was all bullshit, but
he's a Pittsburgh Pirate.
The social media world does not find him innocent, and that's what matters in today's society, which sucks, but that's kind of the world we live in now. Yeah, it sucks. We can talk a little golf. I don't know if you guys watched much yesterday, but Scheffler switched to a mallet putter for this tournament and just literally didn't miss any putts yesterday at all. I think he one putted like 14 straight holes or something. If he's making putts, nobody's going to beat him. I mean, they're playing for second. People said it when Tiger was on his run. Like, if he can make putts consistently, if he can figure out how to putt, he is going to go on a Tiger-esque run. He is that good at striking the ball.
Jesus.
I think they had a stat when I was listening yesterday that he didn't miss a putt that was within 15 feet yesterday. That's nuts.
That's ridiculous.
And he made a 30-some footer at the end, towards the end.
Yeah. I think going into the Players this year, he's the defending champion. That's the Players this week. He's the defending champion. He won by 5 shots last year. I mean, I don't really know how you can bet on anybody else. This is a tournament where the top players always dominate. You're not going to find much value in the long shots at this kind of course. You're going to see, just like this week, you're going to see a leaderboard that's going to be stacked with names that you recognize in the top 20. And Scotty Scheffler is going to be at or near the top of the leaderboard. I can guarantee you it. He's 5-1 odds to win the tournament, which is absolutely outrageous. You can't bet on that kind of thing. I guess you could, but I mean, I think he's the outright favorite. Yeah. Did you guys watch yesterday at all?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see
he just
JT
looked
playing
dominant.
good again.
Yeah, 100%. It's good for golf. It's good for JT. He's a really likable guy.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching Wyndham Clark. I thought Wyndham Clark played really well.
He's getting a lot of shit on Twitter.
Is it really?
This week? Yeah. So he made a comment. Rory made a comment earlier in the week about the field shrinking and why that might be a good thing for like competitive golf. And then Wyndham Clark kind of doubled down on it. He said that he thinks that golf would be better if there was only 100 tour cards. And 20 guys, the top or the bottom 20 guys get relegated every year, and whoever earns their way in gets in, whatever. But we're talking about a guy who didn't break through until he was 30 years old. He grinded like all these guys did for like 10 years. And now he's calling for, basically he climbed the ladder and then pulled it up after himself. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are not respecting his opinion on that.
That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. You got to the top, enjoy it. Don't fuck on other people below you.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I think a lot of the lower tier guys on tour are really not Wyndham Clark fans anymore.
That completely takes away my previous.
Yeah. His caddy wears a have a day hat all the time though, so that's cool. I like that. He's a big Bob Does Sports for the brand. Yeah, if you guys want to look at players down the board for the players, I highlighted a couple of guys. I think Hovland, Matsuyama, and Homa are the best players from the field last year who are in pretty good form right now. Finished top 10 here last year. You're getting those in the 20, 25, 28 to 1 range. That's a good number for those kind of guys. But look, if Scheffler is going to putt like he did last week, nobody's going to beat him. It's kind of over.
On the golf topic, did you guys watch any of the Full Swing series yet?
I've only seen the first episode so far.
Okay.
Brooks?
Yeah, I've watched it. I don't know if you want to talk about it since he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we can talk about it. I don't care. You guys talk about whatever.
Don't want to ruin it for you. I really enjoyed the way they're doing it so far. I do think that the first 2 episodes, I'm not breaking any news here, Dusty. The first 2 episodes are very, very live oriented, and kind of like the combativeness. It almost seems like it's a little bit overdone, but it's just as good as season 1 to me. I've only gone through 4 episodes. I don't know how many there are, 8 or 9, but it's definitely worth the watch. And then I'll let you guys comment first.
No, I mean, it was.
It's
always going to be worth the watch to me. I mean, I liked the first season. I like this season. Anytime we can go behind the scenes and kind of see some inside access, and kind of what goes through the heads of these guys sometimes and what they, because nobody knew how crazy these schedules were unless you were like involved in golf, like year round until the first Full Swing. Like, I didn't realize how nuts it was. That's crazy. Year round. I'm
surprised they never did anything on Sungjae Im for a couple of seasons. Sungjae Im didn't have a permanent residence. His first couple of years on tour, he was just living in the city that he was in that week, and he played in every single tournament for like 2 straight years. It was like the coolest thing ever. He just didn't have a house. He lives in that city for the week, and then he goes somewhere else. And then that's his life. Yeah. I think it's awesome. I mean, and he's actually a player I'm looking out for later in the season. He's recently dropped like 20 pounds, but we're getting way too into inside baseball with golf there. But I think it's awesome to highlight things like that. There's freaking like this schedule can be totally grueling if you make it that way.
They do an episode with Tom Kim, young kid, 21 years old, I think now.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Like him a lot. Like
Yeah.
him, got to learn about him, and it was nice.
That doesn't disappoint. He's very likable on the show too.
Mm-hmm. He came in hot a couple years ago with a couple wins, and he's placed well in some majors. A little bit of a.
He's only 20 years old, 21 years old, something like that.
Yeah,
like,
young kid.
Good for him.
Devin Singletary, 3 years, $17 million to the Giants. Wow, that's more than I would have thought he would have gotten. Over $5 million a year.
That's got to be.
Yeah, I guess that's their patch up for Saquon, I guess, in the short term.
And I hate throwing out these numbers because these numbers are really fake. It's probably like a $17 million deal with $4 million in incentives.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 16 and a half worth up to 19 and a half. So 3 million in incentives. That's what it says on here.
Yeah, I do hate that these guys. I wish they would break it down better or more. They may not know yet, but
it's because the agent sends this information out into the ether, and then all these Twitter nerds and fuckos want to just immediately hit their thumbs and get it out as quick as they possibly can because first is best. And even if you're wrong, you're still first. And the numbers aren't real. Like the Matabike deal is, I think, $75.5 million guaranteed. And then there's incentive-based stuff, and there's like roster bonuses. And it's really a 3-year deal. It's not even a 4-year deal.
Yeah. Yeah, the way they break news is basically they got to get the bottom line numbers and get it out as quick as they can. So that's how it's
because the agent wants to get that fucking number out there. The agent wants to get that number out there so that the other, clients or whatever, feel good about themselves, and then they think they can get more clientele based on the big number they provide, which is it's fucking stupid. But I understand it's business.
Yeah, it's just, and there's been a lot of pushback from a couple guys the last couple of years in terms of how they announce these, like kind of the same thing that we're talking about. Like I think every time I've watched on Pat McAfee show, when they talk about a deal that comes out, it's like they make a point of emphasis and say, okay, what's the real number? Let's see what the real number is, because this is not the real number.
Yeah.
So they're trying to hammer home, and for a good reason, because these guys are trying to get more guaranteed money. So Pat's very player friendly. So, but yeah, I mean, I get it out there into the world, but make sure you're going back and updating. Like, hey, here's the breakdown of the deal, at least, so we know.
This is the evolution of social media, sports social media. I remember when like Twitter and everything first started coming out, and Jay Glazer made a comment one time, or he broke some news, and ESPN just flat out fucking took it and said sources. And Jay Glazer went back onto Twitter and goes, "Hey, ESPN, my mom didn't spell my name Sources."
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, he doesn't really do as much anymore, he said. Like he hates that. Even though he was one of the first ones to start doing it, he was like, I can't. I guess I'll do big stuff that people only give to me and trust me with, but that's about it. I'm not hunting it down anymore.
Yeah, he's more MMA now. I think well, I don't want to say that because he's still very football oriented, but he's so enthralled in MMA, and he trains and everything, and that's I think kind of like his new pipeline.
Yeah, he still does the Fox, I think, pregame show, but like he's not really breaking much news.
Yeah.
That people don't already know, or so.
You guys got anything happened to you this week that you want to talk about? Anything like that?
Maryland stinks at basketball. Baseball season is in full go. Sorry, Spencer couldn't join us today, but he will join us next week or the week after. Hopefully he breaks.
Yeah, we'll get him on soon
with the big club.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, life is good. Dell's good. Kirsten's good. Dogs are good. They're at the groomer right now. I got to go pick them up. I got a dishwasher getting installed.
Sounds like fun.
My girlfriend's parents are coming over today. Holy shit.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go. You got a big day. Brooks, anything this week?
No, not
besides
really.
Besides your tires popping on the side of the road?
No, I got my car back last week. So
that's awesome.
Oh, good. Thank you, Indiana. I guess I should say Indianapolis roads.
It's funny you guys bring up tires. Walking the dogs this morning, go outside. My neighbor's car is on got 2 tires on
it. Yeah.
And it had a jack underneath of it. And let's just say she didn't put the jack underneath of her car.
Oh, no. Damn.
So
that sucks. That sucks. Somebody just took her wheels right off her car.
Just 2 of them, just on the passenger side.
Yeah, just the convenient side. Yeah.
That makes for a bad morning.
Yeah.
It's gonna ruin your day.
God, dude! Can you imagine walking out the door and just like, what the fuck?
it's a fucking Monday. Like, you're already mad it's Monday, and you already lost an hour of sleep the day prior, and now you walk out and you got 2 wheels. Like, come on, man.
Thank you, Baltimore.
I thought like 3 times ago when they changed times for daylight savings, they said they weren't doing it anymore, and they keep doing it. It's pissing me off. It's really starting to piss me off.
Apparently, it didn't pass like the legislature. Like it.
Well, it passed.
Why?
It's in the, where is it? Fuck. It's in like the House or the Senate right now.
It's in the ether of government.
Yeah, it's basically what's going on right now. It passed one of them. It's in the other one. They're not even like in a hurry to look at it. So it's not like shut down or anything. It's fucking stupid, man.
They move as quick as a fucking NCAA. Like they just don't move. It just sits there for a while. And then 8 years later, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna pass it. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then who knows who the president or whoever's in Congress or whatever at that time, and they're going to be like, yeah, we don't want to do that now. It's like, all right, fuck you guys.
Off rundown, off topic, real quick before we shut this down. The Nick Saban comments. Did anyone see these?
I have not.
I know why he retired now.
He basically said, he said he was very disappointed in his team when he got when they lost in the playoff game, about how they were immediately asking playing time for next year, money for next year, and that it didn't make him retire, but it led to him retire.
Huh.
Well, they basically, in the exit interviews, they basically were doing like, what's my playing time next year looking like? Do I got guaranteed playing time? What's my money look like next year? Because I can go get another 65,000 over here, or whatever the number is. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to leave and go play with them. And he's just like, this is ridiculous. He goes, and legally he can't say, like, he's not supposed to be talking money with these guys. That's supposed to be a third party. Go ahead, Dustin.
This is fucking crazy because Rodgers literally predicted this less than an hour ago. Gus Edwards has reached a 2-year deal with the Chargers. He will be reuniting with Greg Roman. What the fuck? He's got Chargers written all over him, doesn't he?
Let's just hope the second part of this prophecy doesn't come.
Yeah. Gus Edwards, stay healthy. Stay healthy.
That sucks. That sucks for the Ravens. But taking Harbaugh has taken our freaking players already. They're going to sign Dobbins too, maybe. And our coaches, yeah.
And our personnel.
Good job by Brian there. I think you win the podcast, dude.
Stay healthy though, please. I don't want the second part to come true, please.
You guys,
if we were playing around the horn, then you'd get your minute here.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah. All right, what you guys got for this week's draft?
First of all, I don't have anything for this week's draft. Yeah. I can do that though.
I need to tell you who won last week's. I can. I think Dusty actually won.
Dusty won?
I believe so. I can't. My phone is like my camera right now, so I can't look at my phone. I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure Dustin was the winner, which is bullshit for whoever was voting.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have any draft stuff.
So let's do you want to do football draft?
Sure.
All right. Let's do Ravens skill positions. So we'll go tight end, receivers, running back, and quarterback. Let me get a pen and paper.
This is going to get ugly with quarterback, I think. Somebody's going to end up with Chris Redmond.
Well, whoever the third best quarterback of all time for the Ravens is.
Jim Harbaugh? I don't know. Kyle Bowler? Yeah, I'm in for this. Let's do it.
Are you pulling up the notes section again?
I have it up. Yeah.
I mean, are you writing it there so I can look at
it?
Yeah,
I'll write it in there. Yep.
I was going to get a piece of paper, but if you're just going to write it, I'll just look there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We'll go. I don't know who had first pick. I was in the middle last week.
I had first pick last week.
So, you go first. You can go
Brooks,
first.
why don't you go first this week? And then I'll go third.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I'm going Lamar.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so what are we doing? Like, let's write out what are we drafting?
QB,
I'm
running back, 2 receivers, and tight end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lamar's not would have changed my pick, but
yeah, your basic fantasy football team offense, but Ravens.
Yeah, you shouldn't change your pick. That's the easy pick for sure. Who's going second, me or Brian?
You.
Me? Okay, well, I'm taking Flacco for sure. I'm putting you in a very difficult position here, Brian.
I'm going to take the best other skill position player because there's no other quarterback. It's only worth.
Yeah, you can wait till the last round for your quarterback. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else is going to take another quarterback, so.
Good point. I'm gonna go Mark Andrews.
All right.
Mark Andrews. Okay.
And I get a second pick here.
You certainly do.
Kyle. I'm going recency bias. I'm going Zay Flowers.
All right. Not terrible. It's not a terrible team. So it's back to me.
Yeah.
I'll take Jamal Lewis.
And I will take Bolden.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Ray Rice and Lamar in the backfield sounds so fucking terrifying. Flacco, Jamal Lewis. Give me Steve Smith.
Oh, you stole it. Damn it. Willis McGahee.
Not bad. Good player.
And Steve Smith was my next wide receiver.
Willis McGahee had some fucking awesome stiff arms as a Raven. He was amazing.
Yeah. Derek Mason.
I think he was probably my next pick at receiver. So, tight end, I'll take Todd Heap.
And I'm rounding out my draft.
You are.
Oh, I'm stuck at tight end.
Dare you to take Ed Oliver. Dare you.
Take Nick Boyle for some steroids.
Yeah, you can get Ben Coates. I think he played 2 years here.
Owen Daniels. Yeah, Dallas Clark for a minute.
Dallas Clark for a hot minute.
Yeah, I forgot about that. All right.
Oh, come on. It's obvious answer.
Yeah.
Well,
it is pretty obvious, I would say.
It's not that obvious. There's 2, and the other one I'm thinking of, you're going to be like, oh shit, I forgot about that. But for wide receiver, I got to go Torrey Smith.
Okay.
And
Heater.
I didn't give me Shannon Sharp.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you didn't take Shannon Sharp, I was gonna be pissed.
Between him and Pitta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But give me
I
the
didn't
Hall
even
of
think
Famer.
about Pitta.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Okay, so I need a receiver, and there aren't any left. So what do
Quadra Ishmael.
Take Travis Taylor. Yes.
Can I put Jermaine Lewis in it? No. Oh God, I put myself in a hole here. I should have gotten a receiver.
We
don't
haven't
have a
had many of
fucking
them over the
quarterback.
years.
Yeah, you don't have a quarterback. That's a bigger problem for you.
If my team hikes the ball, there's no one to receive it. So I don't.
There's a decent one left.
Receiver?
No, quarterback.
Quarterback?
Receiver. I can't.
I don't know if there's any good
receivers.
receivers. I can't think of a single good receiver. I'm not taking Mark Clayton. I know that for sure. I'm not taking Travis Taylor. I'm thinking about taking Marlon Brown. Jacoby Jones. I don't know who to. There's nobody to take. We have shitty receivers my whole life.
I'm logging off.
Oh man. I'm blanking, man. Take your quarterback, Rogers. I need a minute.
Okay, that's fine.
I think he's gonna need a minute too.
No, I'm going Steve McNair.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. Okay, I don't really know who to take here. This sucks. I can't take Bateman or Perryman. God, they suck. They suck so bad.
If you take Rashard Perryman, I'm gonna.
We used to have this one wide receiver that was pretty cool. Same skin color as us.
Stokely, huh?
Whoa!
Yeah, I didn't think about him. I didn't think about it. I won't take it because of that. I'll take Quadri Ishmael. Fuck it.
Okay.
That's the only one I can think of. And Stokely, I would have taken Stokely, but that would be cheating. I don't want to. I didn't think about him. I can't spell Quadri, but Ismail.
Ismail.
I'd rather have Rocket, but I get stuck with Quadri. That's fine.
Yeah.
Why can the Ravens draft special teams guys? They can draft long snappers, punters, and kickers. Can't find a fucking receiver. It looks like Zay Flowers might hit, but damn it.
Yeah. Those like that week or two that we thought Zay Flowers might be leaving us that was not good. Anyway, to recap, Brooks's team, Lamar Jackson, Ray Rice, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, Shannon Sharp. That is a strong team.
That's strong.
Dustin, me, Joe Flacco, Jamal Lewis, Steve Smith, Quadri Ishmael, Todd Heap. And then Brian is going for Steve McNair, Willis McGahee, Zay Flowers, Derek Mason, and Mark Andrews.
My team sucks.
I have the worst of the three. I think Brooks has the best. That's my opinion. First pick I think was pretty good here. Yeah. I think I could have. I think Steve McNair is great. Yeah. R.I.P.
Hey, if you would have said Tyrod Taylor or Troy Smith for a quarterback, I would have lost my fucking mind.
I mean, I completely forgot about McNair for a second because I thought somebody was actually going to have to take Kyle Bowler.
He was in the MVP voting for a little while that year too, and I think for the first half of the year he had a great year with us.
I know there's probably a receiver that we had for a season that was good that I can't think of right now.
Like TJ Houshmandzadeh was good for us.
Lee Evans.
I can never forgive him for dropping that fucking ball in the end zone.
Well, Houshmandzadeh dropped the ball too in the end zone. Fuck both of those guys.
Neither one of them were great though. Either. I mean,
yeah, they were both past their prime when they came to us.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys have anything else?
No, I think that's it. I'm gonna have my dishwasher installed here in about 10 minutes, so I'm getting off.
Oh yeah.
All
right, fellas. Well, great podcast. Hopefully we can get Spencer on next week or one of the upcoming weeks. But he's a free agent safety for the Ravens, Geno Stone, going to the Bengals on a 2-year, $15 million deal, by the way. So,
and you know what? Good for Geno Stone, because the Ravens weren't going to pay him that money.
No.
For him.
And he's not gonna start unless somebody gets hurt. I totally agree.
Yeah, good for him.
Yep.
And that's what I respect about the Ravens is they let guys go get their money, and they don't fault them for it. And then Geno Stone might be a Raven in 2 years.
Exactly. They come back. Michael Pierce got paid. He came back. It happened to a lot of guys.
They always come back. And I mean, to be honest with you, we couldn't pay him that money. I mean, but I respect like good for him though, because he went from being almost cut. He was cut and to now he's getting a premier cornerback contract. So
yeah,
good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. I'm happy for him. That's awesome.
Good for Geno Stone.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Maybe we'll do one of these live one of these days. We'll see if we can sync that up one time and do a live viewing party.
I'm in. Let's do it.
We can do it during the draft. A live draft one will be fun.
Oh, I'm down. Let's do it.
That'd be cool.
Because I mean, the draft gives us 3 hours of content. Not that we want to be on for 3 hours, but hell yeah, why not?
Cool. All right.
Sweet. All right, fellas.
All right. See you, boys.
See you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.